All right. Poop jokes. Got poop jokes.
I shat myself earlier. If that's a joke.
All right.
That's
So
what happened, actually.
I'm on the toilet right now.
right now, just to,
Yeah.
Right meow.
is there corn?
Okay.
No,
A little bit.
We need a play-by-plays.
Oh,
No, I'm just kidding.
Nah.
funny
No, please,
story, though, actually. Appa ate an orange crayon, like a bright orange crayon.
Oh
You
God!
want to know
God.
how I know?
Because he pooped it out.
It was, his poop was orange.
Oh wow.
I was
My
like,
poop is
awesome.
orange without eating crayons.
Yeah, he's got the puppy dums. Oh,
Oh, he's such a butt.
Oh shoot! Hold on. I was gonna. So I'm gonna reply to my own thing, so you guys know her name.
oh, okay.
Her name is Amaryllis.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna be part of this too, just so you know.
Okay.
So probably good to have like basic note taking for this, for potential names and things like that, because we're going to be discussing characters. And here, I'll go over everything we're going to discuss. First thing is going to be DM and player expectations, character introductions, character connections. We have house rules, hard lines and fails, which essentially your hard lines and or like things things that you definitely don't want in the game, or things that you would rather be insinuated. We've got player conflicts, campaign departure or game absence, stars and wants, and technical issues, which is just not even issues, it's just the technical side of it. So first thing we're going to talk about is the DM and player expectations. So things that I expect from you guys. And let me read all characters. Okay, so these are things that I want, particularly, and that I'm expecting. And then this can, essentially, these are things I want, but we can collaborate if, like, something I say, you're like, you're pushing it, DM. All right, same thing for
You're
me
pushing
to
it,
you
DM,
guys.
asking for
All
things
right,
you
all
want.
right.
That's not cool, man.
Hey. So, I think all the characters should want to be on the adventure. That's pretty much my main headline for this, especially because it's a not a railroad, but it's an adventure. It's a pre-written module. It does have a lot of freedoms, and I have a lot of wiggle room, but I think it's important that all your characters want to be on the adventure. So, and then I want you guys to include other characters in your roleplay. So it's okay to have the spotlight, and this is my next point, but definitely try to help others get in the spotlight as well. Like, if you know you're often in the spotlight, try to raise people up, or those people that don't seem to be pushing for it themselves that much, or seem to be in the background. Unless they prefer it that way, then that's fine. Take notes.
I think, so
Okay.
real quick, sorry, let me just interject in that. So sometimes I feel like, with me, it's not that I don't like to roleplay, it's that sometimes I have a hard time, like, fitting in the roleplay.
Yeah, I understand that.
So I think having people like kind of like reach out and pull in, I do feel that happens sometimes too, which is great, and I appreciate that, because sometimes it's hard for me to like inject myself into the conversation.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to put that out there. I'm so sorry.
No, that's
okay,
good.
Thank
That's
you.
perfect. This is fine. This is what this is for. That's good. Okay. And then taking notes. I was reading through some of the adventure. I still haven't even got through the full book. I'm like reading through most of chapter 3, and I'm almost done with it. But it definitely seems like if something big happens or important, or it seems important, it's just jot it down. I'm not expecting thorough notes or anything crazy, but just a few things, right? Or if characters are repeatedly showing up, like the rival characters, maybe taking notes about them occasionally, especially notes about the players in your party is probably good as well. Looking over your character sheet now and then. I'm not saying you have to memorize everything, but definitely like occasionally refreshing yourself on it, and that includes reading spells. Especially for druids, they usually have a large pool to pick from. But I'm not saying you have to read all of your spells. But what I would recommend is picking a few to at least favorite in your head, so at least you can pull those out quickly. But don't worry, I understand, because spells, there are a lot, and it's okay that if sometimes we have to like slow down for you to read, because that's going to happen to everybody, no matter what, no matter if you're a fighter or a druid or whatever. So that's okay.
Yeah, can I interject real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, I'm still relatively new to D&D. So if you could be patient with me, just trying to figure out spell casting. Like I'm doing some studying for sure, and figuring out like how to best play a druid, how to utilize the spells, and
druids are fun. Just so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, but just be patient with me. I know it can be frustrating sometimes with a new player, but
no, like especially for new players, I think everybody understands that.
And especially in this particular group.
And I just added that to your guys' player expectations for me. I added patience for new players.
Well, one good thing that I will say to you
that have bad memories like me
about that whole situation is there's at least 3 DMs in this this group, so everyone like totally understands the being, you know, new and figuring stuff out and trying to get your feet wet with role playing and stuff like that. Like, so just feel confident. None of us care if you're not great at anything. In fact, like, we'll be more like receptive of you trying and not necessarily being great at it than just not trying. Like, I'm always more like, yeah, I'll give you advice and help you out if you know, or like play off of you if you try. But if you don't give me anything to work with, it makes it more difficult.
Right.
So.
Okay. No, that makes sense. Like, I'm literally obsessed with this game. So.
Me too. So,
so the next part is the player expectations for the DM. And I wrote down a few baseline ones, and then whatever you guys want to give to me, I can add to it. But the first one is like DM should care for players' mental health. DM try not to kill players. I wrote poorly. DM not try to kill player characters with a player versus
Anvil
DM.
Told you that.
Yeah,
DM not try to kill characters.
Also, I'm gonna have to add this to expectations, but careful with the interruptions. But yeah, so I'm not trying to kill you guys with a DM versus player mindset. You know what I mean? No, I'm trying to defeat you guys. We're collaboratively telling a story. The next one is respect the boundaries of the players, for me, for you guys, but also obviously respect my boundaries as well. Provide a safe environment and patience for new players. Did you guys want to add anything else to this?
No, not me.
I don't need to say. I've been with you, so I know you're not going to do anything bad, so I don't feel like I have anything that I need to tell you about.
Yeah, that's fair. Right. And Nikki, Michael, Miranda?
Nope.
Nope.
Sounds like you covered everything.
Yeah, did you already create this game in Roll20? Or...
No, we're not doing it in Roll20, and that's on the last part. But I'll say it now. We're gonna do it on Foundry.
Gotcha.
I haven't set anything up on it yet.
If you need help, let me know.
Yeah, I was gonna set up a potential meeting time with you to at least get everything started.
Yeah,
but we can do that at another time. Okay. So now we're gonna get into like the beginning nitty gritty of like character introductions.
Okay.
So pretty much we're going to go around and everyone's going to describe their character and anything the other characters might have learned about them during their time together. Because we're going to have the party start having already been a party for at least a little bit. And we're going to work together to figure out how you guys came together and everything. But first we're going to do character description plus what you guys might know about each other. I would like you to, in the chat, post the spelling of your character's name normally, and if you can phonetically, if it seems like we might need it, so we're not constantly misspelling it or mispronouncing it. And so if you don't have something to take notes for this beginning part, if you can or want to, please do so. And then let me know when you guys are ready, and I'll have Miranda go first.
No.
No? Okay. I will have...
I have to go grab my character notes. Okay. I had to put them up because Appa was eating them.
I forgot a lot. I thought I had character notes. I should have...
Well, you remember what they look like, right? You said I asked you today if you remembered that.
It's a drow, right? I'm playing a drow.
What's the name of your campaign again?
This is just called the Netherdeep. I haven't named it anything special.
I'm starting a new project in Legend Keeper for this. So.
Okay.
Okay, I'm back.
So if you want to go first, though, if you have your stuff.
Yeah, I've got my stuff. Okay.
Yeah. So character description and what the rest of the party members might know about you that you haven't kept to yourself.
Okay. So my character is a Minotaur. He's an older Minotaur who's, seen war, and you would know that he used to be a warrior of the Aurora Watch. He went through something pretty intense. We haven't really decided on what it is yet. And you would know that he's a little grumpy and off-putting sometimes. He's afraid to love and trust people again, but you guys are slowly helping him get there. He was the sole survivor of something tragic. And he is incredibly huge with two, really big horns that he uses to knock down doors, and he's a tank. Just FYI, he is going to be pretty awesome to move shit out of the way. So he's awesome. I'm excited to play him. I don't know what. Oh, he's a warrior, or I'm a fighter. Sorry.
Oh, not a tank.
Well, he's a tanky fighter because he has some defensive abilities with his horns and stuff. And some of the martial stuff I picked, he's got tank aspects.
Okay.
And what's his name?
He's not a tank, but he is going to be
tanky.
Yeah.
Crowd control, if that helps.
I understand.
Okay, cool.
And it was Anvil?
No, I'm Drastanis.
How you spell it?
Oh.
I put it in the chat.
Oh, okay, good.
You did?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Where?
Are you?
Oh, I see it. Oh my gosh, I just had to scroll up a little bit. Who's Anvil?
I am.
Josh.
Oh. That's why I was confused.
Copy. Okay.
Drastanis. Okay.
Drastanis.
So, that is my first World of Warcraft character was a Tauren warrior, and that's kind of what I'm basing him on.
And he's a Minotaur, right?
Yes.
And what was the name of the you said like a clan or a war or an order or something?
He used to be in the Aurora Watch.
Aurora Watch, that was it.
An Aurora Watch warrior.
And Aurora's like spelled how it sounds like.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I wrote it down as.
And then
yeah, that's correct.
Would I know anything about this Aurora Watch? Is it a well-known thing?
Yeah, essentially the whole party would know what the Aurora Watch is because you're in Xhorhas. Essentially, they're the military force of the Kryn dynasty.
Okay.
And so they're like the army.
So, are you still a part of the Aurora Watch, or are you like?
I don't think so. Right? I think I left them after whatever tragedy happened.
I want to say you retired early and dipped out.
Yeah, I kind of was it a dishonorable discharge?
We can talk about that.
Okay, yeah, we'll talk about that. So that's we don't know yet.
Based off what you said,
but I am no longer.
I do have some ideas for your thing.
Okay,
but we could wait for that.
So, question for you, DM, while we're doing this. So, when we're like describing our characters, if we have an idea of how something about our characters would kind of mesh together, do you want us to wait for our own turn or bring it up during somebody else?
That's going to be the next section of this.
The next section?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was asking for.
Yeah, definitely hold on to that. But you can go next, Josh, if you're done. Okay. So.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay.
I mean, is there anything I'm missing?
I mean, no. It's just a basic overview. Just kind of describe your character, what they might know from being with you for a certain amount of time.
Okay, cool.
Undetermined at the moment.
Alright, so my character's name is Anvil. He's an orc barbarian. He's a berserker. So he kind of like sees red when he loses his cool. He's like tall. He's like 7 foot tall and very broad shouldered. So like super ripped. He has like ritual tattooing on his face and stuff like that. He used to be a member of this orc clan that like was kind of out in the Badlands. Like they raided a lot and things like that. And he decided that that wasn't really for him. He didn't like all the killing and stuff like that. So one day he found a small person. I'm not exactly sure what race they are. They'll tell you later. But and him and Michael's character have been kind of spending all of their time together. He almost kind of like raised him. And he's very shy. He doesn't like other people that much. Not because he's like an asshole, but more so that he's very untrusting. As like the members of his clan were very mean to him, like because he wasn't this, bloodthirsty killer. And so, I guess technically he was bullied, even though that sounds weird for a big, huge, barbarian, but like they would give him shit because he wasn't a killer.
Makes sense why he's a barbarian.
Exactly. And so he's very difficult to like get to know, but once you're like his friend or that he cares about you, he's very, very protective of those that matter to him because it's such a small group. Like Michael's character is pretty much the only thing that he cares about in the whole world, and so he's very protective of that character. He's got green skin. He's got like a scraggly kind of beard. Like it doesn't look like he takes care of it very much. He just kind of lets it grow willy-nilly. Unless somebody tells him to, and then he gets all self-conscious about it. He's got like these tusks that like shoot up from the bottom. So like he's got kind of like whatever it is, like I can't remember, over or under bar with his jaw kind of sticks out. Very gruff and like light spoken, and yeah, I think that's the major things. Oh, he carries he's kind of a tinkerer, and so he's always like trying to figure out new like contraptions and stuff like that, even though he's not skilled at it at all. He's like fascinated with it. He wears this backpack with like a platform on the back for Adam or Michael's character to actually ride on his back when they travel and sometimes when they fight. And it actually has this little string that hangs down that when Michael's character grabs it, it actually retracts and kind of like launches him up onto his backpack. That's kind of like their thing. But yeah, other than that, I think that's it.
All right. So we got.
No, Michael has to go next.
Right. Honestly, since this connected.
Thanks.
Go ahead.
Appreciate that.
Now I need to know what he is.
It's a fairy. No, not really. But anyways, I do have some questions for Josh.
Yes.
Orc Clan. Does it have a name?
So I have some names in my head. I was just thinking about that, but I haven't run them past Adam yet, so I don't know if it's okay if I just make it up or if I need to talk to you about it first.
Well, I think your clan is made up already, so it's fine.
Okay. So you have a name for it?
No. I'm not saying it. No, like you made it up. It's not in the book. Source
okay,
material.
I get what
We're
you're saying.
adding
Yes.
to the world with your clan.
Yeah, so it's the Cragmire clan.
That's good. Okay.
And what it yes, and they have what it is like a like a crag in a mountain, and it has 2 fists on either side, like they're pulling it apart. That's their kind of like symbol.
Okay. Oops, I wrote that in the wrong area. Good. and then whenever you're ready, Michael.
Okay. I'm just typing in my character real quick.
Yeah.
Jesus, why did I type this name this way? Okay, so I'm going to type a really weird-ass name into chat, but you don't have to call him that. He goes by Ty.
Say that again?
You can call him Ty. He said he's typing in the character's name, but we would call them Ty. Like.
Oh.
Okay. Ty Eldori.
I don't know what I was drinking that night.
Teelidai, that's cool.
Yeah, Teelidai is what it looks like.
Oh, nice.
Alright, so my character is a... I don't know what my character is anymore. Deep Gnome. That's what it is. He's a deep gnome. More or less like a gnome that usually lives underground. So my character is usually pretty... doesn't like being in the sun. He deals with it, and my character is more or less a bit loud. I don't want to say loud, but more rambunctious, so he wants to go out and explore things. It just happens that the sun kind of sucks for him, but that's not really a main issue. He has black eyes, small, like 3'1". I apparently wrote that he has shoulder-length hair for some reason. So I guess he has shoulder-length hair now. And he's got like this brownish gray skin. He's pretty... yeah, I'd say he's pretty young. Maybe like young adult at this point.
What was his
most of the time... Say again?
Deep Gnome.
A deep gnome, okay.
Deep Gnome.
Did you say your class?
No, I have not. He is a sorcerer. And there's a subclass to it, but it's like, I don't know what his subclass is. It doesn't say it. So I guess that's not too important.
It's basically whoever your patron is.
Yeah. Well, sorcerers don't have patron. More of like why you're a sorcerer. But anyways.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking warlock, my bad.
A few more things about him is, he wears, most of the time he deals with people, he's wearing a helmet made out of a skull from a wild animal. It's a specific kind of animal that's local to this region, of which I cannot remember the name.
Oh, probably a warbounder. Or no, not warbounder. Was it?
No. It's like the giant cat of some sort.
It should be a warbounder, right? Is it called warbounder, or am I saying it wrong?
I don't remember it being a warbounder, but it's something pretty similar.
I might be saying it wrong. A moorbounder.
Moorbounder, that's it.
Jesus. A warbounder.
So close. Okay. Alright, again, tying in with Josh's character. My character used to live in a village. I believe it was a mining village of some sort, or along those lines. Now it's right on the close to the surface. I can't remember if it was on the surface or close to the surface, but that's not too important.
It was like I believe like a crack in the ground almost. Yeah, like a ravine.
Or just with enough shade to not hate life. He had a pretty normal childhood growing up until, you know, orcs, which is a problem in this part of the world, I guess, sometimes. Anyways.
A specific clan.
A specific clan.
Yeah. Orcs, not so much. The clan, yeah. It's like humans. Like, humans aren't really a problem. Some humans are.
More or less, his home got raided by orcs, and Anvil found my character and saved him during this whole shenanigans going on. And after that, Anvil's been watching over my character. We eventually found our way over to whatever city we're starting in, and have slowly been moving into the city that my character's pushing of Anvil. My character likes being in cities.
Okay.
Unfortunately, Anvil's kind of the opposite of that, so it's hard to try and push him into the city when he obviously doesn't want to. But, you know, the outskirts are kind of boring. Something else.
Bless you.
I'm kind of jumping around spastically for this.
That's all right.
I was a bit busy today. Most of the time when y'all have dealt with my character, he wears that Moorbounder skull helmet, and he's pretty outgoing usually. Though I'm sure by now y'all have seen him once in a while without the helmet, and whenever he doesn't have the helmet on, just kind of blends into the background. Anything else anyone would like to ask? And or I miss?
I think
he sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, me and his character are very, very close friends, almost like kind of the... Yeah.
The Grog Pike kind of relationship.
That's what I said.
Yeah,
Yep.
yes.
Cool.
Oh my god, you're right.
Yeah, I told Josh that after you guys told me, and he was like, he didn't intend that, but it really was.
But it absolutely is that kind of dynamic.
All right, you ready, Nikki?
So my character's name is Amaryllis Glen. So Amaryllis is actually a flower, and I thought Glen sounded pretty with that, so it's like a Glen of Amaryllis. But she is a druid. If you scroll up in the chat just a bit, I did post a photo of her. This is kind of a general idea of what she looks like. You can't see her lower half, but a little bit about her. She is 350-ish years old. But 328 years, roughly,
yeah,
she was a tree. And she was awoken by, what's the deity again, Adam?
It's
not the Green Mother, I'm sorry.
Wild Mother?
Yeah, the Wild Mother.
Wild Mother, thank you. The Wild Mother woke her up once I saw actually Miranda's character, which I'll kind of explain a little bit about that in a minute, but I was incredibly intrigued in my tree form. Interested in her because I was deep in the forest and I had never seen a living creature that was not local forest fauna. So when I saw a humanoid creature, I became really interested, and the Wild Mother woke me. And I grew legs, and I walked over and I began a conversation with her, but it was more like baby babbling, because I didn't know how to have a conversation yet. Words didn't really make sense to me, but, so her lower half, I want to say from her calf down to her feet, she does not really have feet, they're tree stumps. And when she meditates or rests, since she is an elf, she doesn't take a long rest, so when she sits on the ground to meditate, she burrows into the ground almost. Not like she intentionally burrows, but she starts to grow into the ground, and then a little fairy circle springs around her. Her skin is green, and she is a druid. Sorry, I don't know if I said that yet. But she's very soft-spoken and very driven by her love for nature. And I know in this area that we're playing, it's almost like the forest is dying. And that's kind of her goal with the party, is to, plant trees and flowers wherever she goes. She's very, very, very kind to everybody. Doesn't really know what personal space is. Will kind of like stroke your arm if you're feeling sad, or just during conversation just kind of gets very close. She is 7'4"
tall.
Yeah. Oh, and my favorite part. So when she was a tree, she had a little divot. Yeah. when she was a tree, she had this little divot, like a knot, kind of like an owl's hole, and that never healed properly in her humanoid form. So she has this divot, like right where, think a pregnant woman, but the opposite. So not her entire stomach, but right where her uterus would be, there's still a divot, and that same tawny owl still lives right in that little spot in her belly. And she has a messenger spell where she'll send this little owl to send notes.
Oh my god, I love it.
But yeah, am I forgetting anything, Adam? Oh, Miranda's character and I know each other quite well, because her character has some interest in how I came to be. So we bonded pretty well over that.
Yeah.
Am I forgetting anything?
Just to let you know that I'm not ignoring, I just have to real quick go tuck Tierney in to bed, but I'll be right back.
Okay. I don't think so. I did want to, like, not a correction, but just so you can understand. The forest isn't necessarily dying. It's already been, like, destroyed because it's like a wasteland, right?
Oh, yeah.
You were in a forest area, but, like, right on the edge of the waste. So the further out you went, the deader the trees got. So it's like nature's trying to push back in, but it's having a hard time kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, the
that's kind of like a little side quest of mine every day is to
just adding
plant a tree or just like growing a tree with my magic.
But yeah, we'll hold for now while we wait for Josh to get back.
I'm gonna go pee really quick. Actually, I drank. Let's see how many ounces this is. I drank 1.5 liters of water since we started talking. So I'll be back.
1 liter of cola.
So if Miranda's character... Sorry.
Yeah. For Miranda's character?
Okay. So if Miranda's character is, like, taller than 5 feet, can I get an advantage while hiding in the party?
I'll think about it.
I'm gonna say, I'm pretty sure Minotaurs are like 7 foot.
Jesus, you guys are all tall. How tall is your character? Yeah. Miranda's undecided, I think. Because I don't think we've decided on height for her character.
I think I'm technically a large creature.
I bet you could fit in the nook, though.
I think that'd be appreciated.
The nook in the tree. With the owl.
Oh my god.
Scoot over, owl.
It's your new friend. But yeah.
Whoa.
Alright. I'm debating whether I should pause this or not. I feel like I should. Yeah, let me pause it. Alright,
I don't know if everyone's back yet.
Oh, you know, Josh is probably not back yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry about that, guys.
No, it's okay.
Welcome back.
You are good.
Wait. Did I miss Miranda's?
No, I didn't go.
No, we waited. Okay. And then I think Nikki wanted to add a little more real quick. Okay. She was closing a window.
I'm sure a door is opening somewhere.
Okay, sorry.
That's America.
All right, so what was it about your thing? Nikki?
Jesus.
Oh, okay, sorry. So, like I said, she lived for pretty much her entire life as a tree. And I want to say she's probably around like age 28, physically and mentally. So she's still kind of young, not really super smart in terms of like communication, knowing world struggles. Like if certain things, like obviously normal stuff she knows, but if there's something random that happens, she's probably gonna be like, what? So almost kind of like blissful ignorance, I guess, until things are explained.
So for that, I think we had talked about something else, and I wanted to make sure if we can go back to that way, but I'll explain it in a second. Because I think we were going to have you as 10 years old. Like, you're an adult, but you've been alive for hundreds of years. But you've been with Miranda for 10 years.
Yeah.
And there's a reasoning for that, because I think towards the end, I don't know if I told you this, I hope I did, but towards the end of the 10 years, like once you hit that 10-year mark, you started getting memories that weren't yours. Did we talk about this?
I forgot. Yeah, you told me about that.
But the 10 years is important, that's why.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you did tell me about that, sorry.
And is this something that the party would know? Like, I'm assuming at this point, 10 years, you probably would be just getting with the party. So, would you guys tell the party about this, essentially? So we can...
About, like...
Her having memories that aren't hers?
Probably not.
I think that probably not. I think that would be something between the both of us.
Okay, so
and
strike that
from the record.
Cool
role-playing stuff.
Yep. Everyone, don't take notes on that. Just pretend you didn't hear anything. Okay.
Hear what?
Nothing.
What?
Anyways. I farted. Anyways.
That's
right. So, Miranda, you ready?
Yes. Okay. I am ready.
I saved you for last.
Yes. My name, I accidentally typed in the wrong name earlier, but my name is Kadira. Kadira Zamzam. So I'll give you guys. I put it in the chat on how you spell that.
So cute. I like that.
Okay. She is a Circle of Stars druid, and yeah, it's kind of cool. So her skin, obviously. Oh, and she's a drow. So she's a drow Circle of Stars druid. Huh?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
You're roboting.
You sounded very excited every time I heard your voice, but I have no idea what you said.
Circle of Stars druid.
Oh
no.
Oh man. I am. So.
Is it me?
It's you. Yeah. Try logging out and logging back in, like disconnecting, reconnecting.
Hello?
All right, you're good.
Yes.
Why do I always have issues? This is my regular Mac. It shouldn't be an issue. God damn it. Is it better?
Yeah, it's way better. Yes. Yeah. It just needs to come in and come out.
Okay.
That's what she said.
Sorry.
I want to know what you were so excited about now, though.
Yeah.
You're jealous that she's a Circle of Stars druid?
I was just saying, I'm so jealous of all these druids. I love playing a druid. So.
Well, I will say that drows are not that tall. So they range anywhere between like 4'7" to 5'5". So I'm not the giant. I'm going to say that I cap off at 5 foot.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm just 5 feet tall around these 7-footers.
Well, you also have a little 3-foot gnome.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Amaryllis will carry me sometimes. Okay, so she seems to be a bit aloof or kind of like an airhead. It almost seems like half of her consciousness is in the stars and the other half is on the ground. So she's not dumb or anything, but she does come off as very like think Luna Lovegood or Professor Trelawney from Harry Potter. You know, that kind of feel. Her skin definitely, pale, and she has white freckles all over her body. In the dark, some of those freckles glow in the shapes of constellations. Her clothes have a ton of folds and pockets where she keeps odds and ends, and she even has this special pocket for treats for the owl that that's Amaryllis's buddy. Yeah.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
Amaryllis found a moonstone once, and she kept it in her pack because it reminded her of Kadira.
Aww.
So yeah, we both keep little things for each other.
Yeah. Like Adam said, we've been together for 10 years, and I was there to witness her birth. I was in the forest. Huh?
I didn't say that. I said,
okay. I was in the forest because I wanted to do more research on a bear constellation and its connections, to spirituality and all that stuff. And, I was all by myself, having a little camp. I would talk to myself a lot and make notes, and Amaryllis was watching this the whole time, and that's what she was, intrigued by. My normal job at this point, because right at that point when I met her, or when she was born, I was on vacation from my normal job, which is I would drive around giant turtles with like a Luxon temple on their backs. And I would drive those Luxon temples to other Luxon worshippers who couldn't travel for worship. Oh, and by the way, it's known that I follow the Luxon, which is the rebirth god. Basically, for that is once someone is consecuted and they die within 100 miles of this specific beacon, they are reborn into the next entity to be born.
I remember reading that.
Yeah.
Or Adam talking about that. That was really cool.
And these people, and it's well known within like the Luxon, lore is that like once they're reborn, they start to recover their memories once they reach like reach a certain age. So that's just like a basic overview of the Luxon religion. And my clothes, they're kind of like if you were to think about like Mid-Eastern clothes a little bit, with all the folds in, because I'm not used to being out in the sun all the time, so I wear a lot of layers, which is where like the folds and the pockets come from. So I have lots of space within like the yards of fabric that I'm wearing constantly. I have a reference photo, but just you would have to give me a second to upload it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think I covered everything for that.
Sounds right.
Okay. So the photo that I'm going to send is kind of the inspiration for her clothes. It's not exact as this, but it just kind of gives you like the vibe, okay? And how do I put it into a specific channel?
You just have to go to that channel and then
press
type
the
in.
plus right here.
No, from my phone.
Oh, I don't know how to do it from your phone. I'd have to look.
Okay, well...
It should be you click on Discord and it's going to ask you which server you want to put it in.
Whoops.
What'd you do?
I put my foot on my printer. And it's printing something now.
It scanned your foot and it was printing a foot picture.
Thought you were going to say you posted a picture of your foot for a second.
Sell it.
Right.
Okay, and you want me to post it in general?
Yeah, that's fine. Since that's what we've all been doing.
So here's the clothing.
Nice.
And then the like what she looks like is oh my god, sort of like this. That's where I'm taking inspiration from.
Hell yeah.
Did it send?
Yeah, I got it.
Ooh.
Both of them?
Yep, both of them.
Okay.
Yep.
That is beautiful.
Oh. That's gorgeous.
Amaryllis literally just wears the forest floor.
Yeah. All right.
And she has a cape sometimes too, and not a cape. She doesn't carry it with her.
No cape.
She will literally just reach down onto the ground and rip up the grass and throw it over her back, like turf.
Like pick up the turf. I like it.
Yeah, like I'm cold. I'm just gonna throw it on. And then she'll like delicately place it back into the ground wherever she stops using it.
All right. So I think that's everybody, right? I didn't miss anyone.
I think that was everybody.
All right.
Pretty.
So I've got after this or whenever, sometime through the week, send me. Personally DM me your character descriptions, just in case I end up being able to commission art for like tokens. So that way I have something to use. Include pictures of like references of like the styles and things that you wanted to use. So that way if I do find an artist, that way they can use those. But that can be later. It doesn't have to be right now. Alright, so now we're moving on to the next section of character connections. So let's talk about existing character connections and how the party formed. I'm going to start with some.
Nobody likes me. It's okay.
Yeah, you're the loner so far, but let me read this a little bit. I'm going to give you my pitch to start this off, but you guys can completely do whatever you want. I just had ideas based off of where your hometowns are, where everyone lived, and where was the most likely place that you guys would have ran into each other. I already suggested to Sel that her character might be the catalyst for bringing the party together, since she didn't have a determined character connection, unless you guys choose so later. But the place that you guys would most likely interact with is Rosanna, because I believe at Josh's character and Michael's character live on the outskirts of Rosanna towards the end in the Ghostlands, and Miranda's character's hometown is Rosanna, which if she was visiting, she would probably have who in tow? Nikki's character. And so I'm thinking Sel's character, for whatever motivation she has to get a group together, might have headed to Rosanna to try to find people where she maybe thought that was the best place to go. And
how do you spell that place?
Let me look at. I have it right here. Rosanah. I think that's how you spell it. That's how I typed it. I could be wrong.
I thought it was with a V, so I'm glad I asked.
Yeah, no.
So Rosanna is like where we're meeting?
Well, that's where we kind of like came together.
It could be. Yeah. It's up to you guys, because that's the main city where multiples of you have connection. The only one who doesn't have a connection to Rosanna is technically Sel's character.
Well,
but
one thing.
Go on.
Oh, I was going to say, one of the things that I was thinking of when you were actually describing your character, Sel, is I think you're probably the only character in the whole group that Anvil would actually kind of like gravitate towards, because you kind of have a similar backstory of been like in a group of warriors and stuff like that, and then like you could tell war stories and all that kind of stuff. And like you said, were you dishonorably discharged or whatever?
No, I don't think so, or we haven't decided yet. But whatever happened to me, whatever tragic befell me, initiated like leaving the Aurora Watch.
And like, so, you can't go back, right?
No, I think that she should have to be able to, based off of the story we're going to go through. So probably not dishonorable.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Now that
that probably makes more sense. Anyway, yeah. I feel like it
for the connection to make sense to the story. Yeah, it can be dishonorable.
Okay. Then that part won't fit, but I think he just likes that connection that you're a warrior. He used to be a warrior. You guys could talk about. Like, the only thing that he actually knows anything about.
Yeah, and wasn't one of the ideas we had for your and Michael's character is that you guys, your jobs was to, like, pest control, sort of, but, like,
correct.
Pests in the outskirts are, like, occasional ghosts, some giant rats, and mutated scorpions and shit.
Yes, I go out and kill things because that's all I know how to do.
So if her character was coming to Rosanna for some reason, right, to maybe look for people, I imagine it could have been during a conflict of this sort, and where she took a liking to you guys, and you guys were like, "Oh, we gravitate towards that character." I mean,
like I would even say maybe she was like trying to get some people to do something, and I volunteered to help her out with something.
Yeah,
and that's kind of how we became friends.
Here, so do you want to jump in the other chat so I can tell you my ideas before it becomes canon or anything?
Me?
No, Sel.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
About her character backstory, it'd be real quick.
Yeah. Okay. Which one?
Go to GM Whispers. Yeah, up top. Okay. Yep. Confirm. All right, you here?
All right. Yeah.
Okay. So the whole romance thing, right?
Yeah.
So imagine that was part of like your squad. So mostly the Kryn Dynasty, it's a lot of what are they called? Drow, most of the time. But I would say they'll have sparse different variations. But maybe your team was like a Minotaur team, and maybe had like a Minotaur, some orcs, and some more chaotic things, because they wanted to send hardier creatures into Bazzoxan, into the depths. Because I think about Bazzoxan is that there's like these shifting tunnels that are changing all the time, where they're having to constantly fight demons coming from portals. And so maybe you were in charge at the time, right? Or at least a pretty big, maybe not in charge, but you were in charge of the party to
like
push,
a party leader type, a troop leader or something. Yeah.
To push into potentially try to, you're like, all right, we're going to give this a really good go. They put a lot of resources, a lot of people, but because of like the drama between you and your relationship, maybe that guy, the Minotaur, set up a situation where he sabotaged you in the middle of this conflict with like demons and left everyone to die, right? And maybe a demon in that situation charmed you because that's like a demon thing to do, and you killed everyone there, including the lover, right? And then saw that you were suffering, and he let you go. And so maybe your party, maybe that guy's still alive out there, or you killed him, and then but everyone was like, yeah, we get why you killed him. And then you just, instead of getting dishonorably discharged, they let you resign and you left. Something like that.
I love that.
Okay.
I do love that.
Because that's drama. That it makes sense for the story.
Yeah, and it has that like air of tragedy, and I love that it was someone in my troop. Yeah. The how I met the other two, I would prefer if it was like maybe we were someone hired both of us to do the same job, and so we like at first maybe we were like against each other, but then we were like, wait, this would be better if we worked together. And then like and we realized, oh, we work well together or something like that.
So why would your character be looking at jobs in that city? Because it's not even a
maybe
city you're
because
from.
I'm bored as shit. I got tired of sitting around doing nothing. Maybe.
So yeah.
Like it's been like a while since.
The reason why I was saying it is because we need a reason for you to be pulling a team together. So to make it make sense, we want you to be looking to recruit them, right?
Okay.
So you could be doing jobs looking to see who kind of piques your interest, and so you join their thing and they pique your interest during that fight, maybe.
Or maybe I'm offering the jobs, kind of testing their grit or whatever. But why?
That's the thing. So maybe, or I could. So maybe the mission the party goes on is to fight that Minotaur because he's actually still alive. So it's sort of a vengeance thing. And then we could decide with the group, like, as a group, once you got them together, no, I can't have you. Say he's not in Bazzoxan anymore. Let's say he went somewhere else. But you were gathering the group to fight him, so imagine he went off and became like maybe he was dishonorably discharged. And then he became like a bandit or something. So you're like trying to find him, and he became a bandit leader. So you get the party together to help get the bandit, and through that experience bonding.
Yes, I love that.
Okay, we should bring that back to the. All right.
Yeah. Okay, let's go back.
Right.
What's this? I just said it. Frickin' Crocodile Dundee, and they're both little sweethearts.
Aw, I have no idea. All right, are you guys good?
No, we're super pissed that you guys are gone for long.
Fuck.
I'm sorry.
Missed you.
We've been yelling mutiny while you've been gone.
Okay.
Anyways.
All right. So let me think. So essentially, what the backstory for Cell's character? Do you want to tell them what happened, or give them what you want to give them for that?
Yeah. So I would say what they know is that, you can go ahead because I'm gonna mess it up.
I'll say probably
say it weird.
What we
I'm
came
really
up
bad at
with
storytelling.
for a reason why the characters got together is that her character was looking for like people to help her, essentially at first hiring you guys. So she did go to the city looking for you. Maybe you stood out for your jobs that you were doing, and then she came to you like, hey, do you want to keep doing this, or do you want to come help me do this? And kind of told you that she's looking to fight this bandit captain. And it was personal to her, or to him. And you guys were like, all right. I mean, I'm assuming like...
Oh, dude, yeah, Anvil would be all about that.
Yeah.
He hates fucking bandits.
Yeah, so it's a specific a bandit that she knew in the past, or that he knew in the past, and that he wanted to take care of. So was looking for people that he felt like he could trust to have his back, and that seemed like decent people. And so I would say, how do you guys think, are you guys okay with the way of like meeting through like, oh, you guys were doing monster hunting and then he found you that way, or did you want to come up with another way of how you guys met?
I think we actively look for any kind of paid kind of mercenary work like that. So if he let it known that he was looking for people, I feel like Anvil would have made Ty go find out what was going on with that.
Oh yeah, I could see it like maybe your character cell was like turning people down because they weren't passing the vibe check, but and then you're like, all right, Anvil and this little one, I like their connection, so you vibed with them, so you were like, all right, you two on board. So now we have to figure out how you would move further into the city and find Miranda's character and Nikki's character, and then what Miranda's character, we'd have to like figure out why she's in the city at the time, which is her hometown, not really have to think a lot on it. And then I'm assuming that Nikki's character would be tagging along.
Yeah, probably.
Could we have just like, I'm guessing these bandits were out in the woods all the time. Maybe we just ran into them while we were out there.
It wouldn't be in the woods. It'd be like in the middle of the wastes.
So we didn't we kind of come to this general conclusion that I worked in some sort of like holy house, and so did Kadira. Is that her name? Shoot, I don't have.
Yes,
I worked with Kadira there, and maybe they were looking for, a place to rest.
So that
and maybe we overheard something.
So that temple thing, it's in a specific city that moves. The whole city moves. It's on all the buildings are on.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Backs. So that wouldn't be in Rosanna, the capital. So essentially, why she's working there, it's kind of like her hometown is the capital, but based off of like her culture and stuff and her religion, it's kind of like she's on her mission or like doing her duty by transporting that temple in that area. She's serving essentially. So when you guys are back, it's like you've been there for 10 years and now you're done with that service. You're coming back to refresh, or maybe she wants to do specific research because certain things are happening with your character. So she wants to go home and get something. I think me and her talked about.
Yeah, I know what it is.
Yeah. So I feel like that's why you guys are there, to get your research item.
That makes sense.
So
I don't know how our characters would meet up with a
that's what I'm trying to figure out.
An orc.
Well, Go ahead, Josh.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead. Your idea first.
I think we have the same idea anyways, but I remember when we were talking about our characters with Adam, one of the options we had thought on was that the reason Josh's character and mine went to that city in the first place was because we met Kadira while she was traveling on her walking frickin' city, and then she kind of directed us towards the city, so we could have known about her prior to meeting the Minotaur. Then once we do meet the Minotaur, we're like, oh, we need 2 more fucking people. We know 2 people.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah,
or
I mean, that could work.
Even just 1 person, and then it's like, oh, you have a tree with you now.
Also, maybe too, to like get us more motivated into helping. Maybe that like bandit is destroying a great part of the.
Oh, wait! I remember. Yeah, I talked to Adam about this. That it was my goal and my life's purpose. I felt to help the forest regrow.
Yeah.
So while I travel with you guys, I plant flowers, trees, with my magic to kind of bring nature back where it wasn't anymore.
And this bandit is attacking one of those groves you planted. How about that?
Ooh, that's where they're taking up refuge. And
they're living in it. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so that would be my motivation.
Yeah, so maybe, we could tie all this together, right? So Michael and Josh's character already met at least Miranda's character. When you guys met, there has to be like a spark of why you guys would remember each other. So what would happen, I think it could be something...
I know! Okay, maybe the reason why they remember me is because I forgot to mention this whenever I was describing my character, but one of my quirks is I have divination dice that I frequently take out and roll and consult, because my dice have like constellations and stuff on them.
Okay.
And maybe I gave them like a like a reading randomly. Yeah, and it was like so startling. They're like, "Oh, how dumb is this?" But then like within an hour, it came true, and they're like, "What?"
Oh, and you know what? Since you live in Rosanna and you pointed them the way to Rosanna, maybe when you were coming in, you guys even saw each other again, and they tell you about how your storytelling came true.
Okay.
And then you guys went back in, so that way they know you're in the city. They've met you before, and it's fresh in their mind, and why they would bring it up. Does that sound good to everyone?
Well, here's what I think would be cool. Going along that path is maybe you gave Ty this reading that we needed to like go to the city, that something would happen to us there, that like we needed to experience, and then that happened, and so Ty is the one that kind of has the connection to you, and I want to find you so that you can tell Ty that what you meant isn't that we have to live inside the city, and that it's better for us to leave now.
Fair, that works.
Okay.
Okay, but I'll say also whenever Celestina's character explains the situation and the location of the bandit where you guys are headed, it'll ring to Nikki's character about a place where you had first planted trees that actually started taking root, and then when Cel's character explains it, that tree area that was taking root is being damaged by them. Because like they were polluting it or something.
Would there be any reason that Miranda and Nikki's characters would want to hire somebody to help them, kind of like escort them there to kind of find out what's going on?
Well, it would be
go to bed. Lay down,
Cel's
baby.
character hiring everybody to go there.
Well,
because that's
what
where
I
the
mean
bandit is.
Of course, but what could happen is they're looking for somebody to escort them there. We're looking for the bandit, and where he is sounds very similar to what they're talking about. And so we decide, you know what, we all need to do the same thing. Let's all just do it together.
Well,
like,
I mean,
2 birds, 1 stone type of a situation.
Well, yeah, okay. So Cel's character finds you guys, hires you for the mission of the bandit. You guys suggest like, hey, we know people in the town. You guys go find them, and then because they know about that area, they automatically want to go and accept the hiring.
Yeah, I get what you're saying there. Yeah. Same point, but just a different way of getting there. Yes.
Yep. Okay. And then I'm recording.
Maybe I feel something too.
Ooh, yeah, like something's been bothering you.
Okay.
And so you're like, oh, that's what it is.
Maybe your little reading thing ties to us that we're supposed to go with you guys for some reason.
Like fate will bring us together again.
Too old.
What?
Like that would have already happened.
Whatever the reading like was, my prediction. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Or you had multiple readings.
But there was 2 of you, so one of you maybe got that prediction.
Ooh.
Or something.
That's true.
Someone's name here is Michael, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's great.
Okay.
Or Ty.
Okay. So, I feel like too, this is kind of unrelated, but Amaryllis would be really interested in the bone mask that you wear. Because she's like, oh, I know what that is. That's so sweet. I like the repurposing, reuse, recycle.
I can see that. All right.
This is really cool. I'm having fun.
Agreed. I'm pretty excited. Question.
Yes.
This part of the adventure, when we all meet up, how long after that is it to the start of the game?
That's a good question. So from here, we have to figure out, did you guys like go off adventure for a little bit? Because you have to get to the main city of Jigao, which is a festival, which is enough reason to go, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you go to Jigao for a festival. You guys after maybe adventuring for a bit. So you guys go take care of her problem. Oh yeah. So okay. Actually, let's start here. The bandit, Celestina's character, is very connected to this situation here. So when you guys get there, you defeat all the minions, and then you find that the bandit is a minotaur. And then Cel, did you want to reveal like what the connection is between you and the minotaur, or are you still going to hold it close to your chest? And then what are you going to do with that captain bandit?
I think that they have seen me be very calm and, level-headed. But when I see this, I, see red, and I completely obliterate him with my horns and fists, and they literally have to like pull me off this bleeding pulp, and they're like, "What the fuck?" And then like we sit around the campfire, later, and I can like tell them what happened.
Okay.
So we accomplish our goal and kill this individual.
Yeah, and murderize him, turn him into hamburger.
Yes,
I turn him into hamburger meat.
Is that cannibalism for you? Not for the rest of us, though.
So I think what we decided was this guy, this bandit, used to be in the Aurora Watch with me, as well as, my true love. And did we say he was jealous or he...
It was up to you. From my understanding, it was his partner, and you fell in love with his partner.
Oh, that's right.
But you can
I
change
fell in love with his partner, and she probably was in love with me, but we didn't do anything about it. But he found out, and can you? I have to like write out scripts. I can't do this off the cuff.
Yeah, and okay, so because of that, they were in a. Oh, not because of that, but they were essentially part of the Overwatch in a specialized team, or for a specific task in Bazzoxan, one of the cities. It's the seat of the Betrayer gods. Back when the Calamity happened, pretty much the bad gods. That was their area of their home base, essentially. So that place is constantly being scourged by demons and portals in this ever-shifting tunnels system. And essentially, they were building a team because they were building a city there. There's people are trying to live there, but under constant attacks from like aberrations, from fiends, and so they wanted to try to put a stop to at least some of it. So they put together a really beefy team of like minotaurs, orcs, and like a really thick, heavy group that was Cell's character, the dude, the bandit captain later, and the lover, right? And plus some other people. So they all go in, but this guy knows what's happening. So in the heat of his like anger and passion, he pretty much betrays the party and kind of leaves them for dead in a situation where they could have escaped had this guy done something like drop a rope or something for them to climb out. Undetermined, not really important. But essentially what happens is there's a demon there, or a fiend, that charms Cell's character and controls her. It controls him, and Cell's character kills the lover, kills the other party members, and the fiend, seeing her suffering, lets her live and lets her out. And so I think probably at first you try to beat up the other guy, but the Aurora Watch stops you and dishonorably discharges him for what he did. And or you know what? Maybe they try to kill him, but he escapes. Like, execution. I think that's better.
Yeah.
Because I was like, if he got everyone killed, yeah, no. So he was set up for execution, but he got out, and that's why he's a bandit on the outskirts. And then they're like, you did what you did, and then your trauma. They let you resign. And you resigned. And you were like a high rank. You were in charge of the whole attack force. So you were traumatized from having killed everyone and your lover. And then you had that guy out there still. And so that's why you were hiring the group to help you, one, get revenge and, needing to trust people.
Yeah, exactly. So I kind of tell you guys that around the fire. Thank you, Adam.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You said it so much more eloquently than I could.
So, you tell us that entire story?
Yeah.
You don't hold any parts?
No, because you guys just saw me obliterate the bandit captain.
Okay.
And I kind of like go back to my calm, collected self. Mm-hmm. And you guys are like, what the fuck? And so I'm like, look, let me explain myself. And so I tell you guys, exactly what happened. And I'm like, I'm ready to move on. I'd like to stay together and maybe do some good or something. I don't know.
And I know this seems like something that should play out in the campaign, but it will still have impact and relevance for where it's taking you guys. So I made sure that it's still going to be important and relatively early on. Because it is a thing, I didn't go too hard into I wanted your characters' backstories to connect to the story and less of background characters are going to be showing up all the time. It's going to be more subtle and intertwining.
Well, and I think her little story would be a perfect time for her and Anvil to kind of bond over it. I feel like she tells that whole story, and then Anvil tells the whole story about his clan and how he had to murder other members of his clan to kind of save Ty and all that kind of shit too. So he kind of relates to her situation too. Had some fucked up shit happen to him in the past with our groups.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So were you all satisfied with everything? We need to get from there to Jigal. What would you guys do? Do you think you guys would go off together on somebody else's task? Does anyone be like, oh, I need your help doing this? Or do you think you guys just went off, kind of took some jobs, and just became a party of adventurers? Because essentially, I would like you guys to be adventurers. You know what I mean? To kind of embrace the idea of adventuring and enjoying that aspect.
I would say I think for me and Amaryllis, it would be okay for us to be adventurers because her goal is to, plant things and restore the earth and everything.
Yeah.
And I just want to be with her. So.
Oh, and for Luxon worshippers in general, the point of rebirth is to accumulate experiences. You know what I mean? So if you're reborn again, you get your experiences of this life and then the past life. And so you're trying to accumulate experiences of different things. Because you could be reborn as a completely different race. It doesn't matter. You could be a drow and be reborn as a minotaur. You could be a minotaur and then be reborn as a deep gnome and go through the list. You know what I mean? You could just go through experiences and experience different races, different classes.
I think I would be probably showing Kadira the different parts of the forest, but also I commune with the forest fauna and talk with the animals.
Yeah.
And I would introduce them. I'd be talking and I'd be like, oh, by the way, this is Kadira. We're talking to a fucking deer.
And the thing about that is, Kadira is completely into it. Kadira is literally, oh, you're introducing me to your friends, taking it, she's not just, and everyone else in the party would be like, what the fuck are these two crazy people? They're just talking to plants and animals, they're friends. Because, with my religion, you guys don't know this specific part, but, I'm taking it completely seriously anytime she starts introducing me to anything else. 100% no ironing. And you guys, I imagine, are just oh my god, these women are crazy.
See, I think the thing with Anvil is you guys would be delightfully strange. I think he struggles with normal people, but this group is totally his bag. So as long as Ty doesn't want to leave, and this keeps him away from cities as often as possible. He gets to go out and do stuff, and no one's gonna fuck with him. You guys are nice, so you're not gonna mess with him. So I think you guys are perfect. He doesn't have to worry about you guys killing Ty. You're all weird, and so he doesn't have to worry about how weird he is, and it'll get him out of the city. So when he has the opportunity, he's let's go.
Yeah, she is super and very much the mom in the group. She's gonna basically be tending to people. If someone's hurt, she's gonna be so scared and oh, are you okay? Here, let me help you. Yeah, that's gonna be her. So if anybody is ever feeling emotions, she will come over and try to hug if you are okay with hugs. If not okay with hugs, she will just listen.
And that actually is another thing for Anvil, because I think he wants to be that person, but he's an orc. So he's just not allowed to be nice. He has to be his
orc
self.
Yeah, and clarification on that. Josh's Orc's character has a skewed version of reality based off of his clan.
Correct.
So if you go to the city, the orcs in the city are going to just be more or less normal, but he has this idea that orcs have to be a certain way because that's how his clan was.
Yeah.
So
was it a violent clan? Is that what you mean? Like it was
yes.
like okay.
We existed to murder basically. We got our fun raiding places and murdering people.
And
so you're going to go into cities and be like, "Okay, time to pillage."
No.
I hate that. That's why I left the clan. Is I hated that kind of lifestyle.
Okay. Yeah, and they kind of like isolate themselves, and they're out in like the vastness. The Aurora Watch occasionally has to like deal with them. The only reason why they're tolerated is because there is a war between Dwayne Empire and Xhorhas, and so what happens is the Aurora Watch kind of like points them in a direction, and they just go. They're like, go that way. There's humans that way.
Yeah,
or not humans, but the other team.
So is it more that the people in the city have an interpretation of you?
No.
Yeah, yes, we're different than them. Like the people in the city are normal.
If they find out that he's from that clan, then yeah, they'll have assumptions. But like orcs in general, especially in Xhorhas, come in variety of culture and stuff like that.
So it's more normal than anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no one's going to be like, oh, an orc, but he thinks people are going to be thinking.
Yeah, because my clan hated like city orcs, and like they would talk all kinds of crap about how weak they are and all that stuff. And I've always like been raised that to be a manly orc or like a badass orc, you have to be violent and murder things and. That whole wanting to hug somebody or take care of something.
He's
is
a
weakness.
victim of toxic masculinity.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know what I can see happening? I can see Amaryllis just standing right in front of you and grabbing you on the shoulders and kind of stroking the side of your face and saying, "It's okay. I have green skin too."
And he'll be so uncomfortable, but also like, I wish I could give you a hug. No, weak.
No, give me a hug.
That's when Kadira will come in from behind and then like just grab his waist because she's 5 foot tall and hug him anyway. Like sandwiched between like two of the aloof, feeling people.
He's just standing there stiff as a board, like his arms around him, like okay.
Mm-hmm. By the way, that's another thing. So. I don't think I have it yet. It will be I obviously, since I'm a druid, I have pretty much everything prepared all the time. But my healing, the way that I heal, somebody is I do hug them or touch them in some sort of way. So I'll like if you have like a gash in your side, like I'll just hug you, and then there's like this green that pops up, and just kind of these little sparkly green. Or maybe vines, actually. I think that's how I pictured it in my mind before. These vines just kind of come and wrap around it and then heal it.
My headset died, sorry. One thing I was actually going to mention about this whole situation is I was thinking about this right before we actually started that I think Anvil is somewhat interested in the whole being a druid thing. Like I even thought about maybe cross-classing at some point.
Okay.
So he might be like even more fascinated with
a party full of druids. And then we have the
think
Minotaur.
It would be
it's
fun.
Like, I like this. It does it too.
Well, I think it would be fun too if I were to bring Anvil into the forest and he can help me plant flowers or tend to flowers to break down those masculine walls and just show him, hey, this is a pretty thing. You can do pretty things.
How long do you think the group will be together? Do you want to say like a year before the
while
starts?
I think it started with that one thing, and then we just hung out together. Like I think we found ourselves around each other all the time for whatever reason, and so we just ended up always being together.
And maybe that worked for Anvil because, like you said, Anvil said that he would feel comfortable around me and Amaryllis because of the low pressure for you. So maybe that's why you're just like, I was just going to hang out with the weirdos today, and then you're like, hey, they're not actually weird. We're all,
And I feel like since probably Ty forces me into contact with others, if I have to be around other people, I find you guys and kind of like I could just be myself and not be all, nervous and self-conscious all the time. And I was gonna say to you, Nikki, I have this idea of us out in the forest one time, and like you do something nice for him, and he knows that you like flowers, and so like he goes and finds this flower or something that's growing out of like a crag or something, and he just grabs the whole thing and pulls it out by the roots and like tries to hand it to you.
She would love it anyway. She loves everything. So yes, absolutely.
Like he doesn't understand you're trying to make things not die, so he'll just tear something out of the ground, be like, "Here."
Well, then what I would probably do is be like, "Oh, thank you so much. Now, I'm gonna replant this, so it does not die."
I think like our first interaction.
Is lovely, thank you.
I think our first interaction is like that. You kind of explain that to him, and then like a couple of maybe a week later, you see him with like a little pot, and he's got like a little plant in it that's maybe like an inch tall, and it's like his prized possession. Like he carries it on his backpack and shit, trying to make something grow.
Or like you bring her gifts of seeds.
Yeah, so I think when she says that like you're supposed to like let it grow, he wants to grow you a flower now, and so he decides he's gonna like plant this thing for her.
Aww.
All right, are we ready to move on? This was great, and I love it.
We can do this all night, so yes, whenever you're ready.
And you guys can feel free to like hop in the chat and obviously do
for sure,
flesh out more of that stuff if you want. But for time's sake, we should push forward. So next step is house rules. They can be subject to change. I know there's a few Josh are not going to like in here, but I'm sorry. So
depends.
Yeah, it depends. There's one specifically I know you're going to hate, but it's kind of how I want to roll with it.
Sure.
So I'm going to read them off. I feel like okay, we'll go through this and we'll see if it starts to. If we have too much discussion on this one, we could save the rest of the discussion when the game starts, right before it, to flesh out like how we want it to go. But I'm just going to go through them right now. All right. So first one is the easy house rule. Healing potions are a bonus action. Flanking rules enabled. Most people do, but I just want to make sure to establish that flanking is okay. When you score
for the bad guys too, right?
Yes. When you score a critical hit, you get to roll extra dice for the attack's damage against the target. So essentially, it's the dice again. You roll again the damage, right? Just the standard. We're not doing max. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once we get in the game, I think it'll make more sense to me.
Yeah.
That's the normal way to do it.
Yeah,
so.
I'm going baseline for that. Okay, this is the one, Josh. So Nat 20 isn't an auto success, but it still matters. I have a few underpoints. Yeah, I know. I have a few underpoints on this. So one, a Nat 20 may lower the DC. It will help you gain insight on what might help lower the DC. Like, let's say, because another thing is I'm going to be keeping track of your passive strengths, right? So you might automatically succeed where somebody else might not. Or somebody else might be able to succeed. Or if you had something that would decrease the DC, then you would be able to succeed. So even a Nat 20 won't give you that success. It'll at least give you the insight that, hey, maybe I need something for leverage to help me lift this thing. Or give you insight like, oh, maybe that guy who's stronger than me will be able to succeed in lifting this thing.
Here's my thing. It's not... I think you think I think so, and I don't. Like, anyways...
Mm-hmm.
My thing is, a Nat 20 doesn't necessarily give you what you want, but it's always a success. What I mean by that is there's a positive outcome to your 20. If I roll a Nat 20 to do something, and you're like, oh, yep, you still can't do it, that sucks. But if you're like, oh, you can't do that, but you notice that there's a magical ley line over to the switch over there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's a blunt example, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I see what you're saying.
There's a positive outcome to your Nat 20.
Essentially, that's how it'll always be. Like, if you can do it, either, like, one of the things I wrote was impossible for you now, but maybe something that can happen in the future that you can get and come back with, it'll be there. But most of the time, I'm going to say, like, you're going to have an insight to what could help you either lower the DC or who might be able to have an easier time doing it with the blah blah blah.
That's fine. As long as I'm not just told no with my nat 20.
Yeah. So the next one is I'm going to be, again, more aware of passive ability checks. So like if you have you know how you have passive perception, essentially applied to all of them, like strength, dexterity. So some of you will get auto successes, while the other ones have to roll because they're lower than the passive. You know what I mean? So if the DC is 15 and your passive is 15, then you're going to succeed. You know what I mean?
Always. Yes.
Always.
That is how it should be done.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can pay attention, make sure that you do it all the time, I will be very proud of you.
Yeah.
I try and I fail every time.
I do want to do that. That's something I want to be more aware of.
Absolutely.
Death saving throws are going to be public. We're not going to do DM hides the death rolls. Apparently that's something that people have been doing now, but I don't like that.
Just adds to the suspense, so you don't know for sure.
I feel like it's suspenseful when you roll it.
I agree. I like to see. Oh my god! Either I save them and they could die next turn.
I started doing that because I liked the idea that your other players can't metagame. So if they're like, oh, they have 2 saves, I'm not going to use my spell slot to, heal them. Yeah. So it's just, it's just a way to play. I don't think it's bad necessarily. Because it has its plus, but if you don't want to play it that way, that's fine.
See,
but
I don't mind that kind of metagaming, because I'm imagining if I don't know my death saves, or if I'm keeping it to myself, and I'm like, shit, they could have saved my character, and I like my character, and it died because there wasn't no metagaming like that, that feels bad to me, personally. So I don't want that. But that's
only argument
my opinion.
Would be in real life.
Yeah, real
if
life.
Somebody's down and unconscious. You don't know that they literally have a minute and a half before they bleed out.
Look, this is a game, and honestly, and one of my home rules is soft metagaming is okay.
I respect both ways. Yeah. I prefer the way you do it, but I completely have nothing wrong with
my goal and the reasons for it is for fun and trying to make things to where not so much realistic, but that I feel like is more enjoyable.
Yeah, for sure.
Unless you find enjoyment in that kind of stuff, but not me.
I never. Okay, so I just realized that I never fully understood what metagaming was. I thought metagaming was simply a detail about a character, like backstory related, and you're telling people about it.
There's lots of variations.
Or just closing it.
But that is
basically using
that's all I thought it was, though.
It's using person knowledge to influence character actions.
Yeah.
Right. That's all I thought it was. Yeah. I'm learning a lot today.
Yeah, and I'll touch more on that in a second. I'll keep going through the list real quick. Where was I? Critical hit. Okay, and critical hit just doubles the damage rolled. Did I?
Yeah, you said that. We roll the dice again.
Yeah, I don't know why I have that on here twice. Okay, so inspiration. It's only going to be advantage. I do want to be pretty generous with inspiration. You can share inspiration with others. So, like, if you decide, like, somebody rolls bad, they don't have inspiration, but you want to help them, you can give them your inspiration by inspiring them. Kind of like Bardish, but anyone can do it. And you can use them on death saving throws, because again, if you like your character, I want you to be able to play with them. And they don't stack though, because I'm going to be trying to give them out, and I don't want you guys to like hoard them. I want you to use them and earn them.
Okay.
You can ask for inspiration, because I might not think of something, and you'll be like, "Oh, can I get it? Because I did this cool persuasion," and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, go ahead." So definitely advocate for your inspiration. And you can also spend an inspiration to remember mundane purchases. So essentially, if you're like, oh, we don't have any pittance, inspiration. You know what I mean? Or rope inspiration. So all those are different uses for inspiration for this campaign. And just so you know, all this like house rule stuff, I'm going to post and pin so you guys have it available at some point.
Okay.
All right. So this one, this one's going to be hard to remember, I think, until we're like playing it and I either remind you guys or you're looking at the list constantly. But on the first turn of combat, I'll allow players to lower their initiative to 1 point lower than that of an ally. So like if you don't want to be first because you rolled high, your character can be like, can I go below the next guy? And you can only so if Cell rolled the highest, like 20, right? And you didn't want to be that high, and the next person was like 17 in the party. You can drop your initiative to 16.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because like even though you rolled initiative, your character I could see might not be like, oh, I want to wait till they go.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Can you do that anytime or just the first?
On the first turn of combat.
Okay.
That's it.
Can you delay actions to the end of the round? And then just like say you go third, but this round you don't want to act third, and then go to the end, and then just from then on act at the end?
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
Just to keep it straightforward. I'll think about it, though, and I can add that. Let me think on that. Let me ruminate.
Okay.
And that's only for the
first
person, right?
Though.
Well, it just the reason you would want to do something like that is like, say I have a fireball spell, but like I know my people are going to move next turn. I wouldn't want to use that fireball spell till they have an opportunity to move, you know?
But that's a hold action, isn't it?
No, because you'd have to. I mean, you can use it as a triggered action, but if
but then all your other parts of your turn too.
Yeah,
you wouldn't get your bonus action if you held your action and stuff.
Correct.
Like that.
Yeah,
I see what you're saying. I'll think about it, but I can see that getting a little confusing. But
yeah, if you don't want to use it, that's fine. I was just using a reason it might be useful.
Yeah, I get it.
And this only goes for the first person in the initiative order, right?
Just anybody.
Anybody. Yep. Just as long as it's on the first turn, anyone can drop lower. Okay. So it can just. I mean, it would be kind of sucky if like, oh, I'm gonna back behind your character, and then they're like, I'm gonna back behind your character. It can happen. It'll be funny.
You go.
We'll just keep going down to 1.
That would just that would disadvantage the whole party. So I think the other person would be like, "How about you don't do that? Because I want to go after you."
All right. So on the first time. Okay. So next one. There's going to be more exhaustion in the nature of the story itself. Exhaustion is going to play a bigger part. So I wanted to add this one. Characters gain a level of exhaustion at the end of combat if they have failed the death saving throw during combat. So a little bit of a penalty because it makes sense.
Yeah. I get exhaustion if I think I have to roll a saving throw after every berserk I do as well.
Yeah. So if you get 1 exhaustion, or if you failed 2 death saving throws, it still equals only 1 exhaustion.
Okay.
It's per combat encounter.
Okay.
Characters can
like if we were to die,
immune to exhaustion,
or like be unconscious and we fail 1,
then you get a point of exhaustion.
Gotcha.
After the combat is over.
I just want to make sure I had that right. Okay.
Okay, so characters can turn a hit into a critical hit by suffering 2 exhaustion levels.
Okay.
What if we're immune to exhaustion?
Who is immune to exhaustion?
Me.
Really?
No.
Oh shit! I was like, rearranging all. New? I was like, I'm taking that out. Instead of you just go like critical hit.
No,
okay.
Go over that last roll again.
So characters can turn a hit into a critical by suffering 2 levels of exhaustion.
It's like you go all out to do extra damage, but you push your body past its limit, so now you're tired.
Just like towards the end.
Is that something you could apply on every attack, or just like 1 per turn? Or...
You could kill yourself doing it. Yeah, you could just apply it. Because a certain amount of exhaustion levels, you'll die.
Yeah, and exhaustion gets real bad after a little while.
Yeah.
Oh, I misunderstood it. So you get to exhaustion, but you get a critical.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's a small thing, but I like it, especially if there's going to be more exhaustion in the game.
And I think it's a cool idea.
We're level 3, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
The idea of getting to like just go crazy.
Oomph. Yeah.
Yeah, and risk little extra risks to end a fight or do something like that sounds cool.
Yeah.
All right. And the last part on this is soft metagaming is okay. So make a reason for your character to stick around. Like you can even if essentially be careful of that's what my character would do, because if you get too honed into that, it could mess up the storyline that you guys are trying to collaborate on together, right? So make a reason, add why they would, right? Meta game essentially. Like I know that my character wouldn't do that, so I'm going to give them a reason. I'm going to meta game to make sure that they do this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can make it character specific, but you're giving yourself a reason.
Yeah. So be courteous to the other players doing this. This is specifically for me. So I don't mind. I like when players push the limits of the game, right? And that can be really fun. But make sure to keep in your expectations in check when doing that. Like if you know there's a path that like I'm pointing you towards, right? But you're like, I'm gonna push it this way. That's fine, understand. But know that the other area has been worked on, is ready, is going to be more clear and more put together, right? So if it kind of gets a little sloppy or isn't like you could tell it's off the cuff role play and creation, just
just give them
grace. And feel free to metagame a little bit to point you in the story path, or be nice to the DM.
Only thing I will say to you, DM, on that aspect, I think that's actually a great thing to say. But sometimes we may not have any clue where you're pushing us.
Yeah, I'm saying if there's
something you really want,
but you're
what
pushing
I would say
the boundaries,
is hint to us if there's something you really want us to go do.
Oh, I will.
Yeah, because I'd much rather do your prepared shit than unknowingly go do something stupid.
Well, so for like an example, let's say we're not going to go. Not like your for your character. Let's see, Nikki's character. Like we're not going to go and role play the farming of a forest. You know what I mean? Or we're going to try not to. I can start that off, but ultimately I'm going to have to figure out how to wrap you back into the story. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So like pushing off into like a weird offshoot. I can do little bits, and I'll put in hooks and little story bits of my own for your guys' characters to add into it to make your characters feel connected, and that's where I'll like give you guys hints in which direction.
I think what you mean more is don't tie yourself down to where you can't do something else.
Yeah, I'm not gonna like hard railroad you. I'm going to try to story tell you in a path.
You're going to gently guide us to the story that you would like to tell us.
But ultimately, I want you guys to have fun, and together, both doing the story and having fun. I think we could accomplish that.
I think if we just recognize that you're playing a module, it will be helpful.
Yeah, and that's a big thing. This is a module. This isn't like, I know you weren't in my game before, and I think you came in Cell at the end where it was coming towards an end, so everything was kind of on a path. But at the beginning, it was pretty open on what you guys could do. It has areas where you go and it's open in that area, and it'll feel like that, I think, because the way it comes off is you have a lot of pathing choices, but ultimately the story goes in a direction. But yeah, we'll be learning that together because I've never run a module.
It's more like you get a quest board almost, but not an actual quest board, but you have lots of things to pick from.
All right. So, but that's it for my home rules for now. And again, I'll post those, and if we want to discuss those again, that's fine. So the next one is hard lines and veils. So essentially, we're gonna, if anyone has anything they don't want in the game or something to be veiled, I'm gonna go over mine first. As a DM, there are a few things that I will not be adding to the campaign due to my own boundaries and comfort. So my hard lines are sexual assault, racial slurs, even made-up ones included. So we're not going to make up racial slurs for orcs or anything like that. I'm not going to role-play any sex scenes or have you guys role-play sex scenes between each other. Nope. So for that one, it's going to be veils, right? So it can be insinuated. I don't mind sex jokes. I don't mind banter or talk about sex. We're just not going to talk in detail about the things. We're going to fade to black.
Yeah, like we're not going to pretend like we're in a bodice ripper romance novel.
Yeah. We could say...
there are no hostels.
So it's a gentle R rating.
Yeah. We're going to show penis... Well, if everyone's okay. Like, penises on screen, titties occasionally, whatever we want. But whatever everyone's comfortable with when it comes to
the actual graphic sex.
Yes.
We'll leave that off.
Yeah, no things... Yeah, anyways. I mean, this is already passed. We've already gone through character creation, but one thing I wouldn't allow is no players playing a person of color unless you are a person of color, because that just makes me feel weird, and I don't really want to touch that. No player betrayals or hitting another character without consent. So if your character would hit another character out of like thing, you're still like, is it okay if my character does this out of this reaction, and you could accept it? Or like say if you want to hit their character, that character will either automatically dodge it if they don't want to be hit, or just like let's not do hitting, then we're not going to hit. Okay. So for the betrayals bit is
like on my team or my toddlers.
Huh?
Sorry. It's like talking to toddlers. No hitting.
Yeah. And for the betrayals, that's like don't steal from your party, right? Don't like all of a sudden. I don't see this happening with any of the characters, but you know what I mean. Like, there's gonna be no traitors that are trying to like out for each other, kind of thing, aggressively.
Yeah. We're all friends.
There's going to be a function in the game where you're going to get corrupted, and you're going to get like potential, or you could get corrupted. Where you might have to role play being a certain way, but ultimately I don't think it gets, I'm going to have to read over it, but I don't think it gets super hostile. But in that's a story area, that's not you choosing to role play your character in a certain way. That's environmental, something doing something to you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Okay. As for my veils, I think we already talked about it. Things that I would rather insinuate than describe are things like sex, where I would fade to black. Otherwise, I don't really have anything I can think of for my veils, and sex was my like only thing. If you aren't comfortable talking about any hard lines here, just DM me so I know not to talk about them in the game or add them to the story.
The only thing that I would say for me would be like dead babies.
Yeah.
Everything else, I totally agree with everything you said, but that is the one thing I draw a hard line right there.
Say needless killing of animals for me.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
Big no, because I will cry.
Okay.
Me too. I'm right there with you.
For sure. So, needless killing of animals. I'm going to say, at the beginning of the story, let's say, not anything that's getting killed needlessly, but say like an injured animal that was injured by someone.
So here's the thing. Here's what I mean. So
it's not
let's say there's a monster or something that we're fighting, and you're like, yeah, rips its head off. Like, that's needless killing in my opinion. But if you say a forest was decimated and there were animals that were killed in that's totally fine. That makes sense. But like graphic, intentional killing of animals just to get under our skin, please no.
So when you're saying like a monster eating another animal, like me describing that?
I think she means like if someone came and like just killed it for no reason, like brutalized an animal.
Well, yeah,
for no reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like
I wasn't sure.
You see a wolf eating a rabbit. That makes sense. That's a normal part of the circle of life. But something that's not natural, is that bothers me a lot.
Yeah.
Okay,
you give us a puppy and then you have the villain kill it to get under his skin.
No, I'm not doing that. But, okay, so what you said originally, I wasn't sure if I heard you or not, so I'm just clarifying. I thought you said a monster, either a monster getting killed needlessly?
Like an enemy, I mean.
So an enemy...
Monster, just like a humanoid enemy is like, haha, you see me, I'm gonna stab this cat in the face.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, so the monster isn't getting killed, the animal's getting killed.
Correct.
Okay,
yes.
So you won't have, like, if like a monster that is antagonistic is okay.
You can describe killing horribly.
And I will allow, obviously, animal handling checks if you come up across, like, a normal-ish animal, if you don't want to kill it, right? And if, like, say during that time you're fighting something, let's say a moorbounder, right? And you guys are fighting them, and it comes to the point where you fail success and you have to kill it, I can veil the death. I'll just make it like, okay, you win. You defeated the monster, right? Instead of describing how you defeated it, if you're uncomfortable. That's where veils would come into play. Is that just keep that in mind, I guess.
That's what I was curious. If they were fighting a giant bear, like, would you rather not fight a giant bear?
Well, that wouldn't be senseless because it's attacking us.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure.
Yeah, it's good to have the clarifications. It's important.
We know exactly.
Yeah.
So that's totally fine. Okay. So anything that's antagonistic toward the party. So like, Think cute furry bunny.
Yeah,
Yes.
fair enough.
Just don't kill the innocent animals for no reason.
I will.
Exactly. If something is hostile toward us, that's totally different.
Mm-hmm.
Try
worry,
not
I'm not
to
gonna
get
have
super graphic with animals.
Yeah.
I try to be as
veil any animal deaths.
Yeah.
Which I don't think there should be much. All of them should be at least majority monsters.
Okay.
Let's see. At any point in the campaign. Okay, so let me read this real quick because this is important. At any point in the campaign, if we stumble upon a hardline that wasn't considered, and then even if I forget, and which I'll do my best not to because that's important, hardlines, if we come up across something that you were hardlined or we didn't bring up because you didn't consider it, say hardline, and then we'll immediately stop. And then we can alter course and change the subject from there, and then go on our way. We don't have to talk about it. We'll just move on.
I don't think I need to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway, because I think our group is pretty open. But stuff like transphobia and oh my god, I'm so tired. Homophobia.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Like, if we could not do that either.
Yeah. Hardline.
Yeah, definitely hardline. Okay. But I don't think we've ever had an issue with that with this group. So I still wanted to put it in there because it is important to me. But
if there is a problem with that, then I should just leave right now because I'm gay.
Yeah, I'll just say, I feel very confident that should not be an issue with this group.
I mean, and I'm technically gay too, so. Yeah. I think there's a lot of gay people in this group, so it's okay.
There really is.
Me and Michael may be the only.
Don't speak for Michael. You don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. I just assumed from our conversations.
Right. But the same goes for veils. Like when you say hardline for us to stop, and then for veiling things, say just please veil that, or like. So I'll pull back on the descriptions, and I can just be like, okay, this happens, and I don't go into describing. So like, let's say something made you uncomfortable with the description, and you don't want to hardline it, you can say veil that, and I'll pull back. We clear on that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so.
Oh, one other thing too, that really messes with me. So there have been a few movies that I've had to turn off. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie Green Room with whatever his name is, but there were dogs that came in and started annihilating these people, and it was really graphic and gross, and I didn't like that at all. So animals attacking humans or people as well. Okay. And it's okay. So
hardline,
I know that
veil?
Bears and veil. So don't be like, and he ripped his arm off, and you can see the ligaments and blah blah blah. Like that just makes me. But yeah, I think honestly though, I think it's more visual for me when it comes to that. If I were to see it, it would bother me more. But hearing about it isn't as bad. But I still get that mental image.
I'll approach things cautiously, and then again feel comfortable to say advocate. Hard lines or veils.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyone have any other ones they want to add?
Not that I could think of.
This isn't really a hardline or a veil, but I prefer if people come to game not drinking or smoking.
Oh yeah.
Like, high or drunk?
Yes.
So those extremes.
I do drink occasionally, like when I'm playing. I never ever get.
You're
drunk.
not getting drunk though.
Like I don't ever get drunk.
Yeah.
I hate getting drunk.
I will just say I don't drink, but I get high every time I play, so that could be a problem.
Well, I don't even know this.
Out of your mind.
Yeah. I mean, like.
You're not faded.
Okay, I got you.
Right. I don't have a problem with people that smoke. I want the role play to be there. See, I didn't even know, and that's totally fine. I mean, like, bazongered.
Like where you're belligerent?
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Or just you can clearly see you're aloof. Or
if I don't, I get self-conscious and I can't role play. So I hear what you're saying, and don't worry, I don't get like that. So
yeah, I understand. Yeah, that's part of being respectful to the players and stuff. Is not being super intoxicated. Maybe one day we'll have like a drunk game. we're just fucking around. But yeah, we'll save that for the future. All right. If no one has anything else to add, or if you want to DM me discreetly, that's fine. And then let me know, and I'll start moving on. We good?
I think we're good.
Okay. So next one is player conflict or conflict with DM. However, if you have an issue with another player, please message me directly. Do not message them. If you have any issues with the DM and are not comfortable with talking to them directly, please talk to another player or two, who will address the DM for you if needed.
So you could talk to me. I mean, that might be easy if you want to. So I'll leave myself open for that, and then obviously not required or anything like that.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Adam. If I have a problem with you, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Talk shit about you.
And if I have issues, so don't assume that it's from somebody, because if I think like you've been hogging the spotlight too much, not saying that it's a bad thing, but like to make sure hey, can you make sure to add people to this, because you've been getting a lot of attention, make sure that other people are too. You know what I mean? Don't assume it's from somebody else and that somebody else is complaining. I'm not going to tell you regardless. You can imagine all you want, but I'm also going to be looking at you guys directly.
I heard you already.
All right. You can leave the game at any point if you are not comfortable or feel unsafe. I'll do my best to make players feel wanted and welcome, and I expect you as players to do the same.
Better, or I'm going to tell your mama.
Yeah. So the next part is kind of ties into that, is campaign departure and absence. So about leaving the game. If you are leaving the game, you do not have to give me a reason. I will accept abrupt leaving of the campaign, but I would prefer a few days warning as courtesy, but not required. It just helps, obviously.
Don't text you the night of.
Yeah, but stuff happens. I understand. I'm not going to hold it against you. The character of the leaving player may end up as a DMPC, where I'll run them to keep for story reasons, or I'll have them depart depending on what I can figure out. Finding a replacement player isn't likely an option for this situation. If you know you want to make it, or if you know you won't make it to a game, definitely try to give me a warning, so we can either cancel the game or work around the absence. I do understand unexpected absences are going to happen, so it's not an issue. This will either cancel the game if the DM knows all player. This will only cancel the game if DM knows all players are crucial for the upcoming session, or if more than one player is out. On unexpected absences, the character of an absent player will be controlled by the DM or someone who is willing to play them, or that the player wants to play them, who, maybe they are like, my character. Any questions?
Yeah.
Nope.
What's up?
So, not a question, a comment.
Sure.
I recently discovered that I absolutely hate my fucking job out here.
Yes.
And I was like, yeah, fuck that shit. It's also going to interfere with my D&D. So I literally quit my job for D&D. So the world could literally be burning and I would still be here.
Fair. I like the comment.
Just saying. I'm not no planning here. I'm probably gonna start working at the Best Buy out here.
Okay, that's dope.
I've already talked to people, so yeah.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there. I could literally be going through hell and high water, and I would be here. So.
We have pretty much almost two years of every single week, so
yeah, for the most part.
Other than very scheduled.
Oh, is this every week? This game?
No.
No. This is every other week. Josh's is the off one. So me and Josh switched DMing. So I DM, he DMs, I DM,
he DMs. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a bi-weekly game.
And if you ever want to join mine, you're more than welcome to, but it's up to you when and if you want to do that.
It's on the
when
same
does your
day.
game start?
Yeah,
same day, same time.
Exactly the same thing. It's just on the off weeks of Adam's game are my weeks. So same day, same time.
What time is this game starting again?
What do you mean?
10:30.
Oh, the time.
7:30.
Yeah.
10:30 EST, 7:30 PST.
Okay.
Because they hate us.
Right? Damn.
More. I'm sorry. I have work and a child.
That's okay. I mean, I work Mondays, but I should be able to get a nap in before we start playing. I just have to schedule it, literally schedule it, or it won't happen.
I'll message you on Sundays. Schedule your nap.
Yeah.
Or schedule the game or the nap? Or both?
My nap.
Okay. Probably both.
Yeah. Well, I do. Yeah.
But
because it's been harder and harder to stay up that late.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's not your
me.
fault.
My job.
I'm on a different schedule now because of Appa, and so I'm like going to bed way earlier.
Yeah.
And it's
having a baby,
seriously fucking with me because I used to be up till like 2, 3 a.m. in the morning.
I remember too.
It's so hard now.
Puppies are like babies.
It'll get better. It's just like kids. They'll
over
the schedule.
When summer starts, like when Tierney doesn't have school, we may be able to do it earlier because I'll get to hang out with her all day. It's just I don't want to like her go to school. She gets home, we hang out for like 3 hours, and then I got to play D&D. So
yeah, because you only get her like what 2 or 3 times.
I get her Mondays and Tuesdays.
Oh, so 2 times.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I try to make sure not to.
The job that I had to wake up and get ready for work at 2:30 in the morning.
Yuck.
That is the opposite of my schedule. That's when I go to bed. And it was not working for me, let me tell you. So I was like, and it was a training schedule, and I was going to be on that same training schedule well into August.
Ew.
Yeah, that wouldn't work for me.
That's not a thing that my body is capable of. I've always been a night owl. I gotta have second shift. Like, I can get up at like 8 or 9 a.m., sometimes even 7, but like I cannot wake up at unreasonable hours like that. And they were 12-hour shifts. Like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
All right. So, anyone have any more questions on campaign departures or absences?
No.
I'm really sorry if I accidentally fell asleep on the couch. I'm really gonna try not to do that anymore. I'm literally setting alarms like crazy.
Okay.
So it doesn't happen. But if I don't show up, and I'm sorry in advance again. But you can play my character.
Yeah.
I trust you to play my character.
Okay.
To make decisions for him and everything.
Good to know. So okay. I'll do that.
If for some reason my house and apartment literally does burn down and I can't make it, I think I would be fine with Miranda playing my character. Because she's going to have a good understanding
of
how
your
she
go-to
works.
would be Miranda.
Yeah.
Works for me.
Yeah, mine has no friends, so.
That's funny. Your friend names are Amanda and Miranda.
I know. That happens to me all the time. I'm like, I made up Miranda. Fuck. Oh, that's funny.
So the next one is Stars and Wants. I talked about this briefly previously, but after each session, I'm going to try to send you guys a survey that you can fill out at your leisure. Essentially, stars are things you liked about the session. So, feed my ego, tell me what you liked about it. Like, I really enjoy this. No, it's so I can know what you guys are enjoying, right? So if you like something, tell me you liked it so I can keep adding it or be like, okay, they like that, I'll keep doing that. Wants are like, I wrote 2 examples here, which are things you want to happen in future sessions or that you would like. It's a nice way of saying, like, if something you didn't like, say you had here, let me read my examples real quick. So for Star, something that you liked, I loved how the combat was handled. It had just the right amount of enemies, and it didn't drag on too long. Right, easy, whatever. A want, I want to be able to haggle with shopkeepers. That would really immerse me more into the world, right? So say that person, what the heck is happening? What is this? A JavaScript thing just popped up on my screen.
Quit fucking with the coffee and freaking DM. What are you doing?
I'm making sure that my recording's still going. Okay. Let's minimize that. Okay. Anyways, so like say that person actually was, they might have been irritated about the shopping because they didn't get to haggle because the DM didn't do it with them. So instead of being like aggressive with it, it's more of a positive thing. It doesn't mean doesn't mean you don't doesn't mean you can't criticize. Like if you felt something was a bigger grievance than that, DM me directly and give me your complaint, and I'll try not to get butthurt. I'll do my best. I don't really. I'll let it soak in, and I'll think about what you said, and I'll get back to you on it. But the stars and wants are going to be the core fundamentals of saying things that you want to happen and the things that you liked. But if there's a bigger issue, definitely DM me directly. Or again, if you're not comfortable, ask somebody else. Any input?
I'd like to actually fight.
Huh?
So I feel like I never get to hit shit.
Well, you picked the perfect character to hit shit.
I know. So I want to make sure that I can stabby things with my horns.
You will. I promise.
That's my biggest want for this campaign.
Thankfully, I don't have to come up with all the encounters. So we should be solid.
Yeah.
Oh, I have one thing that's more roleplay in my character that is a want. It's not gonna do anything with combat whatsoever. It's strictly for like a roleplay thing. Like, I know that I'm a druid, and I was, obviously a literal fucking tree. Mm-hmm. Would you require me to have a spell to just grow a flower out of the ground?
You already have one that does that.
Druidcraft.
But would I need to use that for roleplay? Not roleplay, but like, hey, we're making camp and I'm just growing some flowers off to the side.
Yeah,
not necessarily for roleplay.
Yeah, but it's a cantrip, so you can just at will just do it as much as you want.
Oh,
so, yeah.
It is a cantrip?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a druid specific one because people want to do that.
And you can't.
Oh, shit.
And you don't have to say, I cast a spell to do this. You can
just say,
do it.
I grow a flower.
Yeah.
Reading that wrong.
Yeah, you can make people fucking headbands and out of flowers.
I'm gonna make everyone a flower crown.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
It's gonna look hilarious. This giant minotaur and this giant orc wandering around with flower crowns.
If it's anything, the limitations are like, if it's anything that's going to hinder a creature, there's higher level spells for that. You know what I mean? You're not going to be able to create something to like trap something or trip them. That'll be a higher level spell.
Oh,
items. You know what I mean? It's mostly for flavor and doing aesthetic stuff and having actual mechanic there for you to do it.
Do I have to select that cantrip, or is it?
I think it's just a druid thing. Or maybe you do have to select it. Well,
no,
as a druid, do they get all cantrips like they have spells?
Sure.
I say, regardless, you could just do that.
Yeah. I'll give it to you if you don't have it. So.
Yeah, like I had in one of Josh's campaign, there was a spell that an unseen servant, but I would just use it for like flavor.
Yeah. Oops. Just do what you want.
Yeah.
Michael, you sent me a direct message about flower crowns.
I thought that was in general.
I was like, why? Okay.
Are you gonna talk about magic items or anything?
It wasn't planned for tonight, no.
Oh, okay, cool.
Was I supposed to?
No, I'm just curious.
Oh, I know the game's providing a lot of magical items. I will allow you guys to... It's kind of hard. If you can persuade me to let you have a low-level magical item, fine, but I have to be like, okay, that's not going to break anything too early. But I want you guys to want the things that the game provides you, so I don't want to give you too much early. You know what I mean? So if something comes up like, oh, this item, I know, but it's a good...
I just wanted to make sure that it'll be... I wanted to make sure it was something that we'd be able to get later on,
Yeah, there's going to be plenty of magical items. Throughout the story, it's going to be like, oh, you find this here if you explore that. Or this shop has this magical item. Or if you've pillaged this corpse, it has this magical item. Stuff like that. They're going to be sprinkled throughout the story and stuff like that. So if we don't have any more for stars and wants, because that's mostly going to be per game, it's going to be a survey. It's not so much stars and wants for like the future. But any questions or anything to add?
No.
Painter supplies. I have that in my gear.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I can ask you about that. Unless Is it getting... I know Cel's tired. Celestina's tired. It's okay. I can just ask you about it later.
Oh, all right. We are almost done. We're on the last thing after this is technical issues. I don't know why I named it that, but it's the tech side of it, right? So I have a few questions for you guys, as well as just explaining that we'll be using Foundry and D&D Beyond for the campaign, for obviously character creation, D&D Beyond, and using Foundry to run the game and play on it. Is that going to work for everyone?
Yeah.
Nope. I hate Foundry. Never going to use that thing. It's way better than Roll20. I don't appreciate it.
Might take me a minute to get used to it, but yeah, I'll be fine with it.
All right. And then, do we want to use cameras for our faces or no?
Please,
I want us to, please.
Okay, so yes on that.
Y'all could do it, but I probably won't.
Alright.
Because I don't have a camera.
That's fine.
We'll have to order one.
I like the... Like when Miranda the other day grabbed your shoulders. If we'd had cameras, we'd have known that she did that.
Right.
She would have acted it out.
I would have gesticulated.
Yeah.
If we got you a camera, would you use it, Michael?
Probably not.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm
so
just used to using voice.
You're gonna have to.
Just born with it.
You're gonna have to draw a picture of your character, and then just put it on your face thing. So when you talk, it shows up as your character.
Yeah.
Yeah. Though, okay, one thing I'm going to be avoiding is copyrighted music, other people's artwork without it being tagged and stuff. I'm going to be the next thing is good. Follow up into this. Everyone okay with gameplay being posted on YouTube?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Miranda?
Oh yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. So I want to post the gameplay on YouTube, and then I want to start clipping. Like if a good scene happens, role play or something funny, I want to post those on Twitter, Facebook, and maybe other social media sites. I'm
TikTok.
Yeah. I'm gonna create a specific YouTube channel for this campaign to just post the videos specifically there. I'm gonna try to learn some basic editing, and I already learned a little bit more about how to use the recording properly. And I'm going to try to do those kind of things. The full games would be posted on YouTube. Yeah, I already said that. All right. So that's why I said for your artwork, at least you don't have to have it. But if I can get it commissioned and then we'll have your face there, then fine. That'll work. But like the artwork you guys are picking are good for references for each other to know. But none of that's going to go on YouTube. Or thing. So make sure you're clear with your descriptions and not relying too heavily on your pictures for the storytelling until we get art done. Then we can have those put up there. All right, and that ends my session 0. So if you guys have anything to add or say or anything.
Nope, it's good. Nope. I gotta run inside real quick. I'll be right back. Hold on.
All right, you guys ready to start playing though?
Right now?
No, not right now. Fuck that.
Yes, right now.
I have to be up at like 4 in the morning.
Who has to be up at 4 in the morning?
I do.
Adam.
Yeah,
That's awful.
I got called in right before the session 0 for tomorrow.
Ew.
Yar.
So, ew.
4 in the morning.
Well,
Four.
It starts at 5. So
I thought it started at 6.
No, it starts at 5. Yeah. Are you still there, Celeste? I haven't heard you in like a good minute.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. You're sleepy.
I'm just losing steam. That's all.
That's all right. Well, we're done. So if you don't have anything to add, you're free to go. I release you.
Yes, I am very excited to play this character. So yeah,
Free.
I'm looking forward to this, and I'm looking forward to the next one too.
Yeah, and I recorded this, so if you need like any refreshers, I'll post it.
Okay. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.
I'm gonna stop the recording too.